Hello everybody! So today is Sawyer's IEP meeting. Now if you've been following along on the journey of IEPs and schools and everything, you know that this is, it's a difficult meeting. We've had to deal with the school district and have had to advocate very hard to get my boys to have safe education and have appropriate education where, they can follow the IEP. Last year we hired a lawyer. They had to transfer the boys to a school that was fully staffed, which we are so grateful for. And today I am bringing our lawyer to be my boys' advocate that knows the laws, that knows the ins and outs of the school system, because I don't. I have too much going on to learn all of that. So that's why we are bringing our lawyer. And I will say this again, this is not about the teachers, the aides. This is just about keeping the district, in their place and know that they have to follow the IEP. It is the law, at least the best of their humanly possibly ability. I understand, short staffed, I understand all of that. But if they can meet the IEP, it needs to be met. So today is Sawyer's. Next week's is Griffin's. I am just nervous. This is my first IEP meeting here for Sawyer that has had an evaluation. So every 3 years, if you have a child in IEP, they get reevaluated. That means they get all the testing done. And so we've had to do a ton of paperwork. He's had a lot of testing to see where he is in, his abilities. So that's always hard. The IEPs are always so emotional because you are being told where your child is academically, emotionally, behaviors. I mean, you're hearing all of it, and it's never pretty. Yes, the teachers and aides always say positive things. They always bring up the good stuff, and that's fantastic. But the nitty gritty is where your child is behind, and it has struggles, and it's very emotional. When I come home today, I will be an emotional wreck, and I already know this, and it's just what it is. I can never expect anything differently. My therapist says, prepare for this, prepare mentally. It's not going to be easy, and I'm not going to handle it well emotionally, but it will, tomorrow's a new day, and that's how I have to look at it, because I get really sad, when these meetings happen, and it's just emotional. At this meeting, I am anxious about, a little nervous. I don't see them doing any surprises where I think that Sawyer's not going to get what he needs. I'm definitely advocating for a behavior plan. We've had behavior issues, and I'm going to be advocating to make sure that the boys are in summer school. Last year they tried to fight us on it, and I know they're going to fight us this year too. So that's what our lawyer's there for, to help us get that implemented and to get them in summer school. It's just so important. Because of the regression over the summer. It's 2.5 months, and our boys do so much better in routine. Routine is so key, and I really want them in there, and I know that they would be eligible if the district doesn't fight us. But there's definitely there's ways the district can fight us. If the IEP goals that they have set are very attainable, too attainable, then the boys will not get summer school. So we have to make sure the IEP goals are, of course, reasonable, but still has still has challenges, so the boys will get to have summer school. Yes, so I will definitely do an update when I get back and tell you how the whole thing went. But yeah, I'm just a little nervous, but it'll be okay, and yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. So it has been many hours later. Let me tell you something they didn't expect. So yeah, we are back from the IEP meeting. So this was an IEP meeting / an evaluation. I had never done one of these before. This one was, which I knew this was happening, but I didn't know that this would be a very intense, detailed, the evaluation part would be very an intense, detailed part of this meeting. So we had a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, we were sent some papers to sign so they could do evaluating Sawyer, testing on Sawyer to see where he is. We did that. So everyone's done testing on Sawyer, everybody. OT, PT, speech. Sorry, my phone just went off. the psychologist, the special ed people. I'm trying to turn my phone on vibrate. So that was the first part of the meeting. That took over an hour and a half just to go through all of that. Now that was interesting where Sawyer landed. They did the autism evaluation because his last IEP said he had a global developmental delay, not autism. So they had to switch all that over. Now, Sawyer, you know, totally fell in the autistic spectrum. He definitely hit all of it to qualify for autism, you know, his autism and his IEP. If that makes sense. So, trying to make sure I'm getting everything right. So each person went through their evaluation and they talked about goals and, you know, strengths, weaknesses, and what they were going to change to his IEP for the next 3 years, like what their goals are. Whichever year there's an addendum every year, but like this is like the baseline for the next 3 years. I will say it is very emotional, very hard, and these never get easier. It is so hard to hear how hard it is for your son or your daughter. And it's so hard to hear the teachers, you know, trying so hard and they're still struggling with your child. It's just, it's awful. But I will say this was the best IEP experience I've ever experienced, ever. Like, ever. I'm so glad we brought our lawyer. Yes, we didn't have to fight for anything today. But she knows the ins and outs of IEPs, and she knows the district. She knows what, you know, what the district is trying to get away, you know, get away for things. So she's like power, and I'm so grateful we have her. I think it just shows to the district, to the school, that we love our children, and I'm willing to do almost anything for them to make sure that they're taken care of as much as they can be, you know, realistically. So we got through all the evaluations. Sawyer did get more physical therapy, which is very cool. I'm so excited. He has a lot of trouble with like stairs. So that's fantastic. We are going to be bringing a dizzy disc in to the school for him to use as one of his preferred activities when he's struggling. We talked about all of his meltdowns he's been having, and we did talk about a behavior plan. They did not want to do a behavior plan, and so what they explained to me is that a behavior plan is very hardcrete and concrete, and a behavior oh my god, I can't remember what it's called. Hold on. Okay, I remember now. I actually had to go downstairs to get the paperwork. It's called a behavior support plan. So it's not as they told me, concrete and how they have to handle the behaviors. But it is all written out in his paperwork, all the things that they are going to be implementing when he is having a very hard time in school with his meltdowns. So, and they do have it where it says in 6 weeks they are going to reevaluate the situation, and if the behaviors are still happening and they're still not manageable, then we will do a behavior plan in place, like a one that's concrete in the IEP. But they're very hopeful with other things that they're going to be adding, and the visuals that they're, because he's a very, very visual learner, Sawyer. They're going to have a visual schedule, and they're going to give him lots of prompts when they're changing things, and so he will be ready to do things when they're about to happen. Change is hard for Sawyer. So that is great. That's so great. We talked about summer school. So this is something that I was misunderstood last year, I think. Maybe, or I'm just remembering it wrong. So summer school for this district is open to all. You do not have to qualify for it, which I was surprised. There is a summer school program that they would have to qualify for, and that is to prove regression, and then they would have like a teacher come in once or twice a week to teach in home, which that's not what we want. We want the summer school program where they can have the routine, they can be out of the house, they can be with their peers. So that was something I feel like I misunderstood last time, or I'm not remembering it properly. But, so there's no problem with summer school. So the behavior plan and the summer school thing was the one thing I really wanted to address. Because that's one thing, those are very important to me. Everyone was very respectful. Everyone was very kind. Again, I will say this school has changed my thoughts on schools. The special ed director especially, she's fantastic, and she's made me feel so confident and comfortable sending my boys to this school. The whole team has. They're all working together to help them. They are all like in this together, and it's so great. It makes me feel so good, and I'm so happy. Yeah, like I am in the loop. I'm part of this. It's not like I send them to school and have no idea what's going on. They keep me in the loop because I ask for it and beg for it, and I wish every special ed teacher, school had this, because this is so important for me as a mother, to have peace of mind knowing that they're okay. And it's good to know that things aren't perfect there either, because if I didn't get the information, I just sent them off to school and never got anything back and didn't know, I think that they were perfect angels, and it's good to know that they're not, and that they are struggling, and that we need to work on things. So yeah, so the first hour and a half was just all the evaluations, like I said, with Sawyer, and everything where he definitely hit, you know, moderate to severe autism. And, you know, he definitely struggles with hearing, and he doesn't, vocabulary is good, but he can't talk and communicate like everybody else. So that's definitely something that they're working on. Yeah, OT was good. Everything went well with that. And then the IEP meeting was just, again, going kind of over everything that we just said, but just it was put in the legal document. And my lawyer had great input, just, you know, making sure everything was done properly, making sure her voice was heard and my voice was heard. And it was another hour-ish, hour and a half. We were there almost 3 hours. It was a long time to get this done. And it went really, really well. So I really don't have a lot else to say, because it went so well, and I didn't have to fight or scream or have to do a million different things to make sure I was heard. All the IEPs, you know, they're being met because they have the staffing. And I know I'm grateful. Like, I know that I am lucky. But I did fight for this. So I do give myself a big pat on the back. And for everyone who helped me get here, for my friend giving me the lawyer's number, for people, you know, telling me how to get to this point, to not give up. My therapist were saying, keep fighting, don't give up. Because I needed to hear all those things. I really wanted to give up. This was not something I wanted to do. This is not fun. This is not great. But after you get it done, it's worth it. And it's so worth having the peace of mind when they go to school that they are safe and that they are trying everything in their power to help them. So thumbs up. So good. So next week is Griffin's IEP, not an evaluation. I think his is next year. So that should only be an hour and a half. It should be a lot less. But it went well, and I am just so grateful, and I feel so good, and I'm excited, and this is good news. And, you know, I don't get a lot of good news, you know, so I'm so happy to have good news. Most of the time it's very challenging life with special needs kids, and I'm just so grateful that this went well. So grateful. So yeah, I'm ending this here. Any questions, comment down below. I can try to answer them. I will be doing another video all about Griffin's IEP next week. I think it's going to go super well and super simple, but I definitely want to document it because I think it's important to document these as these go on. I will do this every year. I'll do it for Lindy's too, because you just never know. And I want to spread awareness on what to do in a situation that maybe isn't how it should be and what you should do. Advocate, hire an advocate, hire a lawyer. Don't be quiet. Don't assume everything is going good in your school. Make sure you're involved. Make sure you tell your teachers that you want to be involved, that you want to be connected into this into your children's education, and make it happen. Because I, in the beginning, laid down flat, thought everything was going to get taken care of, and that's not, no, it's not what happened. So yeah, okay. I'll see you next time, guys. Don't forget, guys, you are wonderful. Bye.